Based on an article from Sugar Science, Americans are consuming way too much of added sugars. In fact, the average person is consuming nearly 66 pounds of added sugar each year, over 3 times the regular consumption. Today we'll explore how much sugar we're eating, how much sugar is too much sugar, the health effects from overconsumption, and how to reduce our own sugar intake. I, like most, am a huge sugar craver. I'd choose a chocolate cupcake over some carrots any day, but it wasn't until the past couple of years that I began to pay attention to the high levels of sugar in the foods that I love to eat. Although I've done some research on the topic of sugar consumption, there's always more to learn. Sugar has been a part of our diets for many centuries, but as we continually research this common ingredient, we find more and more out about how it affects us. Let's first look at how much of this added sweetener we're really consuming. Based on an article by Sugar Science, because sugar is referred to in over 61 names on food labels, it's easy to look over the amount of sugar that we're eating and eat far more than what we think. Sugar is such a popular food ingredient, manufacturers are including it in over 74% of packaged foods sold in grocery stores today. According to the American Heart Association, the daily intake of sugar should be no more than 100 calories for women and children, equal to about 6 teaspoons, and no more than 150 calories for men, about 9 teaspoons. 1 can of Coke has just over 9 teaspoons. Based on a Forbes article, our average daily intake of added sugars are over 3.5 times the recommended dose for adults, and 5 times the recommended limit for children. Now that we've seen a glimpse of how much the average person is eating of sugar, let's look into the health risk accompanied by this overconsumption. Eating sugar-filled foods may taste great going down, but the aftermath can be detrimental not only to our appearance, but also our health and well-being. According to WebMD, added sugar can cause many health issues such as the following. It can affect our mood. Studies have linked increased sugar levels to depression that could cause life-changing unhappiness. It can also affect our teeth. Bacteria clings to leftover sugar on our teeth, causing tooth decay and eventually tooth loss. It can affect our skin. Sugar attaches to harmful molecules in our bloodstream that damage collagen and elastin, making you look much older than what you really are. And last but not least, we all know that it can affect our weight. Added sugar has 0 nutritional value, so it's easy to eat more calories. The more sugar-filled foods that we eat, the less energy that we're going to have, causing weight gain and obesity. This overabundance of added sugar intake can be even more harmful, to the point that it leads to chronic diseases as well. According to the American Diabetes Association, a diet high in calories and sugar contributes not only to weight gain, but increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. WebMD states that when you eat an abundance of sugar, the extra insulin in your bloodstream affects your arteries, which can cause stress on your heart. Over time, this can lead to heart disease, heart attacks, and even strokes. According to Sugar Science, heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. Overconsumption of sugar that leads to this disease can ultimately lead to a fatal outcome. New findings from Sugar Science suggest that as scientists continue their research on overconsumption of sugar, they're finding how sugar can affect other health problems as well. Eating large quantities of sugar is linked to increase the risk of some cancers and even lower survival rates of chemo in cancer patients. Alzheimer's disease has also been linked to sugar. High intakes of this added ingredient have shown increases in memory loss and overall cognitive health. Now that we've learned how overconsumption of sugar can negatively affect our health, we can now investigate ways to prevent ourselves down a path of destruction. So how can we decrease our own sugar intake and learn to regulate it? First, we can avoid sugary drinks. Healthline.com states that sugary drinks such as sodas, sports drinks, and fruit drinks contribute to 44% of added sugar in the American diet. We can also begin to read ingredient lists on the foods that we buy, making it easier to manage staying below the recommended daily dose. We can buy less processed boxed foods and more fresh whole foods. When you do get that occasional sugar crave, you can go for foods with natural sugar in them instead. So other than that chocolate cupcake I was talking about earlier, we can choose fresh fruit, dates, or dark cocoa chocolate. And also, we can avoid an increased appetite and snacking by adding more protein and fat into our daily diets. Today, I'm encouraging you to begin your own research on this topic of sugar and relate it back into your own daily diet.